So I like to modify my car and such and add optional extras that it didn't have from the factory, and previously I didn't even know that Saab 9.3s come with like door lights or Puddle lights, so when you open your door you will have a light shining from like the door card down where your feet are, so you don't step in a puddle or something like that, I guess. But it was an optional extra and my car didn't have it, but some earlier Saab 9.3 new generation, all of them had these lights, but they stopped adding them to save cost, I guess. So I made some research into this to find out what I needed to get it working on my car as well. And what I needed is these two lights that holds the bulb and such. They are easily to find also on the internet, maybe cost like $6 for a set of two, and you also find like with logo lights and such. But the other thing you need is like a wiring harness add-on that you clip into your old door wiring harness, and since my car didn't have that, we need to equip it, one for each door, and there's a difference between these two wiring harnesses from each door, because on one side you have the lock and such, and the other don't. So we needed to find this wiring harness, and I found this Saab 9.3 Aero that had this wiring harness, so I took off the door card and then took off the wiring harness that I needed. I will have the part numbers all down in the description, and you won't find this new from because they are discontinued. Otherwise I would just have purchased them, I guess. So I needed to go to a junkyard to find the wiring harness. The lights, as I said earlier, you can buy, and that is basically all you need. Wiring harnesses and also those lights, and then we just need to install it into my car. So I wanted to maybe make this video here a little bit longer. I really like going to these junkyards now, digging for parts. All of the cars in this junkyard and the Saabs had actually been here for a long time, so there wasn't too much that I was interested in, but I took the door wiring harnesses and then also a wiring harness for rear parking sensors. So then we come to installing this. I did this today. Fairly nice weather outside today, no wind at all, but still really wet and such on the ground. So we start by removing this door handle cover here. Use like a plastic pry tool and pry in the area that you see here. It's hard to do it with one hand, so yeah, I will just skip it, and I did it with two hands and then started filming again. Then we just need a Torx bit and loosen those two screws in the door card. I always lose these screws when removing the door card, so I always have to like searching through the grass and such, trying to find them. Then we take the prying tool just behind the door card, and then the clips all over like the door here will loosen up. Sometimes you break one, but yeah. And then here we have the door card. There's an indentation here that we need to cut out for the new light to be installed, and then we basically just clip in the new wiring harness into that connector that wasn't connected to anything. And since this door side here doesn't have that lock, you also have an extra like connector for it, but since I didn't need it on this one, I just left it in there. And as we can see, it worked basically from the start. I plugged it in, no like programming needed. So here you have the wiring harness for the driver door, and you also see it compared to the normal one on the driver door. It just basically added one connector to it, and on the passenger side you won't have this. So fairly simple. Plug in it to the missing connector or remove the old harness, then plug the new one in, and then just cut it out, that thing in the door card, and then just place the lights. So the hardest thing about this is sourcing these wiring harnesses, but I will have it down in the description. You will maybe find them on eBay and such, and in the future when I go to junkyards and such, I will search for this and maybe add it to my eBay page as well, making it easier for others maybe to make this modification here, because it's just so simple. Takes 10 minutes and you have this installed. No programming needed. The only thing hard to find is the wiring harness. So yeah, thank you for watching. Maybe follow my Instagram as well. I think I will try to start being a little bit more active on it as well, and then you can get some foresight into what I'm doing on my car and such.